Hey guys and gals, I just featured a Tier 9 Patton Ace by Drewski, and then talked about us getting our Tier 10s. So I'm going to feature my first game in my 60 TP. Alright, so I've yet to play against a 60 TP that really takes over a game. So I really am skeptical about this tank, as well as the Tier 9's gun handling holds that tank back so much. The armor is fantastic, but the gun is pretty tragic. The mobility is decent, but there's really not something that makes it stand out and say, yes, this is a great tank. Alright, so I know this thing's got a nice turret. The top of it's soft, so if you get HE'd, they can take chunks away at you, but it does have 2,600 hit points, which is nice. So I don't really want to trade shells with the 705 turret to turret, so I'm waiting to see what else is with him. He's got T95 behind him, and the T95 actually drives over a vehicle, right when I'm aiming at his lower plate. And I feel like I was aimed right at the bottom of his tank, but unfortunately the gun handling, the accuracy on this is not that great either. So T95, I believe, is shooting HE into my turret.
Turret ring hit. It's moving slowly.
And now, really what I want to just do is try to wiggle. And when I see the 705 looking at me, I try to raise my gun up a little bit. I can see the E5's cupola there, but I really want to take this T95 down. So I aim at his top cap, and I was not aiming above his top cap, so my shell went above it, but they still haven't fixed the reticle thing on here, so it looks like you're over aiming. 705 takes their E100, takes our E100. I get a shot into that E5's cupola. And the only way I felt I was going to get out of this situation was with my prem round. So he's using my premium, and now I'm trying to use this little hill to make sure that I'm hull down. The reload time is really bad on this thing. Get a shot into his lower plate. And now we're just trying to make an evaluation here of what we should do next. But it's 8v3, now 8v4. We lost Artie, and I feel like we're taking the hill. They have a lot of tanks in the field. And since we have the hill, they really shouldn't be able to progress anywhere in the field. So the reason I got into that view was just so you guys could see kind of how the game is set up. And then Drewski tries to make a play across the courtyard, which obviously hindsight, that probably wasn't the right decision. He gets taken down by their Jag. I get a shot into the lower plate of the Jag, and I only have one heat shell left. Now they've tied it up 9-9. I just feel like our team is separating. Their LTTB comes into the courtyard. I punish him for it. We take the advantage 10-9. And now I kind of want to just keep this stuff lit for the tank destroyer and the scout tank up on the top of the hill. We have two heavy tanks over in B4 area, and I really don't understand their play there. They overextended themselves and they have no cover fire. Alternatively, they probably could have been in like B6 making that play, or even drive down to D6 would have been a better play. But unfortunately they're getting surrounded and there's nothing that we can do about it. I could just drive out into the courtyard and try to get there in time, but I could tell that it was pretty much all done for them, so.
Focus on this area.
Now I ping the heavy tank and I just want him to get into location where we can cover each other, because him driving off into 4 tier 10s and a tier 9 is not going to end great. I'll give a GG because normally people will respond to that, so I'm hoping that he comes back. Dude, 257, please come back. You're full health. You can definitely, if you bounce the shells, I can help put tanks down for you. Alright, so they went and killed my 2 heavy tanks in B3, and they really haven't been spotted for a while, so I can just tell that they're coming down the A line. That's my guess, that's my play. So I'm just going to try to set up on this 705 into a hull down location to where I can get shots out. He shoots the 705A, I get a shot into him. Perfect. Now I can roll. I think this thing rolls up to like 960 is what it said. I have, once again, it's only my first game, so I looked at the stats briefly, but when I was buying ammunition, it was close to 1,000 damage that this thing can roll up to. Not the average damage, just like the peak of the damage if you get a high roll. Alright, so I don't want to spend a lot of time with this chieftain because I feel like the rest of their team is going to be starting to surround me. So I go for a shot on his cupola. And now I'm just trying to keep one of my armor towards him. He gets a shot into me. I don't want to shoot his turret. And I hit his gun. I'm aiming down into his hull. Should have been a pen. I don't think I would have killed him, but at least I would have left him on like no hit points for my 257 and my Death Star. Alright, so how is this game gonna end here? I'm gonna get my first loss of my 60 TP in the first game. So it's 257, he's a little bit late to the party. He could have been here and we could have destroyed this chieftain, but he decided to go play by himself, and now he hasn't got a shot into the chieftain yet. The chieftain proceeds to just obliterate this guy, so. Alright, his E100 came to help him, and our Death Star punished him for it. So this can be done. I mean, these guys are all potential one-shots, like the IS-7, 1700 damage to get a full pen with the Death Star. That's going to be a tough hit, but if he can take down the other two, that's going to be beneficial. So I'm going to speed this up. Whoops. Alright, well, haven't used that button in replay before, so I pretty much sped it up. So what happened was, tank destroyer, or my Death Star was on top of the hill. He proceeded to go down the A0 line over to the A line, and I suggested that he stays in A2 because there's a lot of cover over there. A4 would be a good position if he wasn't in a 1v3, maybe in a 1v1 or even a 1v2, but he needs to be in a place where he can shoot and then move. But he definitely can't stay stagnant, because if he stays still, they can just surround him. But he didn't have a mic, so I couldn't really communicate that to him. I didn't know if he could hear me. He did kind of make moves to where I was pinging the map, but he didn't react to what I was saying. So what he ended up doing was then going down the A line, went down the 3 line, and then shot over to the 1 line, and that's where he sits at the end of this game. The chieftain spotted him from A1, and then the chieftain started driving down the 1 line, and if you look just to the right of the dead carcass, you can see these walls here. So what the chieftain did was pretty much just drove up this location, and you can see he ended up parked right there. and he could have taken a shot from the chieftain, and then he would have been a one shot. And I was telling him he needs to just go try to put a shell into the chieftain and kill him. But what he did is he got spotted, so he proceeded to come down to this side of the house, and that's when the waffle pulled out around that corner, shot him once, and then he returned fire and shot over top of the waffle. So that's when they started to close in. Then he moved up to deal with the chieftain. The chieftain backed off, hid there because he knew his IS-7 was coming, and as soon as the IS-7 came around, he took him down. So, unfortunate result. I felt like my 257 abandoned me there. Drewski made an ill-advised play, but he was having a decent game. He definitely made a play to help us get through the 8 line. So I can't really hold it against him by making the other play that he made. But yeah, 5,600 damage, 2 kills, 800 assisted. Got a high caliber. Their chieftain took it down. I messaged this chieftain a little bit. Apparently he has a 60 TP, so he knew the reload speed. And as soon as I shot at his cupola, he was just like, I have to get rid of this 60 TP. You can see I did that with a 75% crew. I don't spend the gold to get my drivers to 100%, especially at tier 10. It doesn't take them long, like 6 games or something, to get up to 100%. So that's not worth money for me to spend on. But yeah, I like it. I feel like the gun handling's a little bit better than the 50 TP. However, I was fighting a lot of close range stuff, which is probably right in this thing's wheelhouse. Definitely still don't think it's a good line for a new tanker. I think you need to be skilled tanker. You also have to have a skilled crew, which I bought the 50 TP prototype when it first came out. So you can see my driver has 9 skills, almost a 10, well, 9 skill crew, which is exceptional. I'll quit babbling. You guys have a great New Year's. I will see you in 2019.